Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there's a lot to get into in today's podcast. Welcome to Undisputed. We're live from Los Angeles. I'm Joy Taylor, here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Go ahead, Skip. Go ahead. You always start off. I try to say something to Joy nice, and you overrule
Hi,
me.
Joy. How are you?
I'm good.
Fake.
It's just the two of us today.
Fake.
Yeah.
Fake.
Yeah.
Hey, Joy, how are you?
I'm good.
There we go.
Nice dress. I like that.
Thank you.
Flowers.
How you doing, Shannon?
Once again, you.
Oh, I
you-
love you, man.
Man, stop me. And you went to church on Sunday too.
What do you mean? That's genuine. We all
No,
love each other.
no. I know it's Skip being fake.
Well,
You look nice today.
you got your wish. The NBA
Whoa.
said that Cleveland won on Christmas Day. It's
No,
over.
Skip, don't
They
do
get
that.
a big W.
No,
They
no,
went to your
go ahead.
restaurant and it was open. They got a dub.
Go ahead, Joy.
Let's get started. Eric Dickerson will be in studio later to set the record straight on his bet with Ezekiel
We
Elliott.
think he will.
Well, yes.
Unless
maybe.
he becomes Eric Dickerson and lucks out, right?
He gonna bring his Zeke jersey.
Oh, maybe. But first, let's talk Cavs and Warriors. Yesterday, the NBA released their last 2-minute report for Monday's Cavs-Warriors game. The league said the refs missed 3 foul calls on Kevin Durant while he was guarding LeBron late in the fourth quarter with just over a minute left and the Warriors up by 3. LeBron drove on Durant but lost control of the ball. Then with under 30 seconds left, LeBron drove again to the basket and his shot was blocked by Durant. The NBA said Durant fouled LeBron on 2 separate instances on that play. The league also said they missed a foul call on LeBron in the final minute when he grabbed Draymond Green. So Shannon, the question is,
Yes.
should the refs be able to call a foul on Kevin Durant during replay?
Yes, but before I go any further, I did not need the last 2-minute report to tell me what my eyes saw. I knew what I had seen was true.
Okay.
Kevin Durant fouled LeBron. He made contact with him. LeBron lost the ball. He fouled him twice. LeBron said it. He fouled me twice. That's what LeBron say. So in other words, instead of having 2 turnovers, LeBron should have been at the free throw line shooting 4 free throws.
You don't get 4 free throws on one drive to the basket.
He fouled him on the one he
you mean
lost the
first one?
ball.
I thought you
Yes.
meant he fouled him twice on the last
No,
drive
no,
with
no, no,
26
no, no,
seconds
no,
left,
no.
so he gets 4 free
Yeah,
throws. That's not the rule, but go ahead.
You know what the rules are.
Yeah.
The NBA said he fouled him 3 times at 121 and again twice on the play in question. So absolutely the official should be able to rule, okay, the ball went off his hands. Okay, we're going to see. Oh, that's why the ball went off his hand. Kevin Durant hacked him. Oh, Kevin Durant got all ball. Yeah, he hit LeBron ball head. That was the ball that he hit, Joy Taylor. You know it. Skip Bayless. So now I want those 2 turnovers. I told you Adam Silver was going to call me.
Yeah.
He didn't get back to me in time before we were going off the show.
Yeah.
Skip, here's the thing. What's the purpose of replay? Is to get the call correct. And it's supposed to be instant replay. They gave me delayed replay. I knew what I had seen was a foul, and they should have called it, but they didn't. Skip, they have replay to see if it was a flagrant 1, a flagrant 2. Did he hit him in the head? They see was a clear path violation? Was he in the circle? There's a number of things that can trigger instant replay. Shot clock violation. We saw last week when Giannis Antetokounmpo, he dove into Kyle Korver. They wanted to see whether the foul happened before or after the shot clock had gone off. I mean, the quarter had ended. Clearly, it was 3/10 left, and so they got to shoot 3 free throws. Skip, sometimes, look, I understand that they're human. And if you can't review when you're looking at, okay, the ball went off to LeBron's hand. Okay, we're looking at that. So that's why the ball went off LeBron's hand? Okay, now we got to come back and change it. Because you should be allowed to look at the entirety of the play, not just the act. What caused the act to occur? I'm not talking about, I don't want to get in Skip, well, they were holding Kevin Love in the corner or D. Wade had this. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the play specific to what you are reviewing. And I do believe that the officials, because the objective of instant replay, no matter what the sport is to get the call correct. And at the end of the day, if you get the call correct, everyone should be happy, regardless of how the outcome plays out.
So, did I just hear you say that you want to open this can of worms in all sports? Because the sport you played, are we going to start looking at every pass interference and say, was it or wasn't it not?
No.
This judgment calls.
No, Skip. pass interference, a non-pass interference call, they're not stopping the clock. They're already reviewing whether or not the ball was off of LeBron. Okay, now you get an opportunity to go back and look.
Okay, so you're just saying just because it was freakish that it was inbounds, out of bounds off the
Right, because you're looking at who touched the ball last.
So
correct.
then you're saying just because you did stop it to see who touched the ball last, now you want to go back to the original start of the play and say, was that a foul or not a foul?
Kind of like college targeting. They might not throw a flag, but they can go replay and say, oh, yeah, he did target.
Okay, but that's to eject a player. So do you want it in football? Do you want every holding call reviewed?
No, I want this. I'm talking about basketball only. We're talking about football at a later date and time. I'm talking about LeBron was fouled 3 times. You want to address that because you know it happened.
Okay, I'm going to address that, and I'm going to back you right back into the corner I backed you in yesterday because I got a whole lot to say here.
Go ahead.
First of all, remember, these 2-minute reports are the NBA's attempt at transparency. There's a lot of PR going on because they just do it in the vacuum of, oh, just in and of itself, that was a foul or that was a foul. But to me, the one with 1:10 left where LeBron admitted after the game, I just lost it. He lost the handle.
He said he made contact with me, but I just lost the ball.
He said there was a little bit of contact, but I just lost it.
Okay.
That was the quote from LeBron James. I'm not going to give you that one. I'm sorry. That's just basketball. There's a little bit of body contact. They're playing hard. They're going hard at each other. LeBron is a freight train, and LeBron, with his left-handed dribble, just lost the handle on the basketball.
Because he bumped it.
Oh, please.
If somebody bump you go off the road. Oh, he
handle
just bumped me a little bit, but you went off the road.
Okay, so since you have raised this issue, then there's another play between these two with 33 seconds left, and LeBron clearly, I didn't even see it in the game, and I didn't really care about it, he holds Draymond down so that he can't go for the basketball.
Right.
So if you call that foul, you don't think that's going to change the flow of the game at that point?
Hold on, Skip. Okay, was there any question? See, I'm saying, Skip, when you stop the clock to see change of possession, there was no question whose ball it was, Skip. See what you're trying to do here?
I know, but you're opening such
I'm
a
not.
Pandora's
No,
box
I'm not.
because now you're saying you need an excuse to go look at it because the excuse is, did it go off LeBron or not off LeBron? Did it go off Kevin or not?
Well, since you put it like that, when we look at whether or not the receiver caught the ball, do we look at to see if the offensive line was holding? Of course not. We're looking at the said act.
Okay.
So let's look at the
So
act.
I tried to explain to you yesterday. Let's go to 26 seconds left. And the score is a 3-point game. And remember, there are reputation calls in this league that maybe you don't have in your league, in the National Football League. But I've been covering the NBA since the 70s when I covered the Los Angeles Lakers of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar here in Los Angeles. And you earn your reputation. You earn calls, especially in the last minute of a game. And Kevin Durant, in the ref's eyes, had earned the right to have some contact with LeBron James as he drove the lane with 26 seconds left, down 3. Because Kevin Durant had already blocked 4 shots in the game. Kevin Durant had already taken LeBron for the entire fourth quarter and basically taken him out of the game with 4 turnovers. He had already forced LeBron.
No, actually, it should have been 2 turnovers because it should have been fouls. Remember, and LeBron had
turnover. You know it, and I know it.
LeBron had 7 points in the fourth quarter. Just so we're clear.
And Kevin Durant forced LeBron James with 3 minutes left into an air ball 3, which was a big play in the game. So the refs are watching. They really get basketball, and in their eyes, they're going to let that one go. They're going to let those two, these are the 2 best players in all of basketball, they're going to let them go at it down the lane. And LeBron is such a freight train. He is so big, so powerful.
Stop using that.
Well, he just is.
So, okay.
And Kevin Durant is so long and so strong and such a shot blocker now. He has become, to this point, the Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he's making his case to be the MVP so far. And they just said, you know what? The Defensive Player of the Year so far in this league, we're going to let that one go.
Hold on, Skip. So wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me after 15 years, LeBron James haven't built up enough offensive cred not to get calls?
Nope.
Stop playing, Skip.
Guess who we're talking about here? We're talking about the the NBA Finals MVP in Kevin Durant. You can't accept that. It's tearing your guts out. But you got to live.
LeBron
you got to
got
look
three
in
of
the
those
mirror.
trophies.
You got to. That's ancient history.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
I'm doing it because it's ancient history.
Well, I'm glad you did
He's
that.
coming off of finals in which he outplayed LeBron James.
I'm glad you did that. So moving forward, we don't need to mention that Michael Jordan has 6.
Oh.
He's 6 for 6. We don't need, that's ancient history, Joy Taylor. Skip, and another thing, will you stop saying because LeBron James is big, there's nowhere in the NBA rule book that says if a guy is 6'9", 260, if the guy is smaller, you can't call a foul on him.
I told you yesterday, if we pull it out of context and we put it in a vacuum, I'll give you there was contact and there was contact. There was arm-on-arm contact, arm on shoulder, then arm on arm. But did Kevin Durant hack him? Did he tackle him?
Was
it clear cut?
Yes.
It wasn't that clear cut
Yes,
when you got the two best players going at it.
Skip.
Okay, so what? If we go back, if we do the call on LeBron, what if they'd gotten the call right on LeBron? Then Golden State's going to get the ball back. What if they make a shot? Then this becomes irrelevant.
Skip,
hey, I'm just saying they missed that one too.
No, Skip.
Yeah.
But the play didn't stop. See, you're trying to.
No, I'm just saying they missed
How
it.
about
They
do
missed the
this
call.
okay.
I don't need stoppage.
Hold on, Skip. There was no debate who the ball was off of. The shot was missed. The ball was out of bounds. Again, we're looking at a play, did he have possession of the ball? And you want them to look at holding on the offensive line. No, Skip. Let's look at the said individuals that's in question.
You've got to let it go.
I let it go.
And I let it go last year, but you have reopened the can of worms. So I'm going to go back to what happened on Christmas Day a year ago.
And you said the very same thing. It was a foul and Kevin Durant.
I went crazy about it.
Exactly.
And then the next day came the 2-minute report. And the 2-minute report the next day, we're going back a year ago, said that LeBron, with 1 minute and 43 seconds left, dunked and hung on the rim and taunted, and it should have been
like
a technical.
Like Christmas
should have been a technical. You don't think that would have changed that game? That became a 1-point game.
Maybe.
The final score was 109 to 108. Well, Golden State should have gone down, and I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant would have shot the free throw, and at that point he was 12,
Steph Curry would have made
12
the
12 for 12 from the free throw line with Kevin Durant at that point. Wow, that's interesting. And then let's go to the final play of the game, 3.1 seconds left. Inbounds to Kevin Durant. They ran the play for Kevin Durant, not for Steph Curry, because he was becoming the leader of the team and the man. And he caught the inbounds pass. And what did Richard Jefferson do according to the 2-minute report? Foot-to-foot contact. Translation, he tripped Kevin Durant,
oh, that's
who
incidental.
then fell and heaved up some prayer 3-point shot. It should have been a 2-shot foul with 3.1 seconds left. And again, Kevin Durant makes his free throws. He was 12 for 12 in that game. I'm pretty sure he would have gone to the line and made 2 free throws. And all of a sudden, that game changes dramatically because Golden State is ahead by a point, but LeBron and company would have had a chance with 3.1 seconds left to inbounds on their half of the court, and who knows what would have happened.
And you went bonkers last year. Now, all of a sudden, you went bonkers last year because the Cavs won. Your team, which you bet me, didn't win, and you was up in arms. Now, the roles are reversed. You have no problem. Oh, let's look at it in a vacuum. We don't have to look at it in a vacuum.
Let's go back to what the two people involved, the two principals, said last year. LeBron James said, this is going back a year ago, about the 2-minute report, I'm not fond of it at all. We should just let it go. And Kevin Durant went crazy, and he was the one who actually lost the game. And he said, the refs didn't lose the game. We lost the game. I think it's BS. The NBA throws the refs under the bus like that with the 2-minute report. The game's over. We move on. But Shannon can't move on because he can't stand the fact that Kevin Durant outplayed LeBron James in the fourth quarter and proved once again he's the best player on the planet. And he got a reputation call that you can't live with.
I'm fine with that, Skip. I'm saying I didn't need the 2-minute report. Just like I don't need anything. Kelvin Benjamin's touchdown was a touchdown Sunday in New England.
Totally
I
agree.
don't care what
Totally
they
agree.
say.
Yeah.
I know what my eyes.
Me too.
The one thing I got good, especially this left one, this old German Shepherd. I'm 2013, Joy. So that thing a little.
I don't think you have better vision than me. I got LASIK.
I got 2013 in the left eye.
Hey,
I'm
I
real
got
good.
it both, and I'm
I got
good.
a German Shepherd in the scale. You know, look at that eye like the Steve Austin.
really?
Yeah.
I love how we're competing every
But
day.
anyway, Skip, You didn't need the last 2-minute report to tell you what you already knew. You knew that was a foul. Skip,
I knew it was a reputation non-call that Kevin Durant got over LeBron James. And Jim Jackson, who played in the league, sat right here yesterday and said, I'm sorry, it's a reputation call that Kevin Durant was given.
Okay.
He had earned it. That's what's happening.
This is what we know. My grandfather used to say, boy, there's two things that can never be taken back. Words spoken and deeds done. The deed had already been done. The official missed the call. But you know what I like? I like the confirmation that I wasn't seeing things, that was a foul twice on one play and again on the other. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter, just because they won the game, Skip, they won. The Warriors won. There's no guarantee that LeBron's going to go 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He might have went 3 for 4, 2 for 4. Hell, he might have missed them all.
Yep.
But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is they were fouls. The refs missed it, and the NBA says, hey, they missed these calls. We're moving on. Cleveland didn't file no protest. Hey, it's over.
Well,
Done.
now that you've opened your can of worms and you've dredged this all up, I'm going to reopen my can of worms from the 2012 Finals, Game 2 in Oklahoma City.
Oh, my goodness.
With Miami trailing by a game because they got blown off the floor in game number 1, and game number
Let 'em
2 is
feel
just
good.
sitting there right on hair
And we
trigger.
took it.
10 seconds left.
And we took it.
Heat up 2, and all of a sudden, Derek Fisher inbounds the ball and just grabbed it from the ref and quickly shot it to the baseline to Kevin Durant. And
Should've called tech on him.
LeBron got caught a little flat-footed, like, huh? And Kevin Durant drives the baseline and goes up from about 7 feet to shoot a jump shot. And guess what? LeBron was desperate, and LeBron clearly body fouled him. He hammered him body to body. There was big contact there and knocked Kevin off balance, and he missed the shot. LeBron was able to go get the rebound, get fouled, and go to the other end. And for once in LeBron's life, he actually made 2 free throws that counted.
Joey, that hurt him.
Well,
That hurt him, Joey.
yeah.
He had to say it.
And
'Cause
that
if he
made
had
the
to-
final score 100-96, and that saved LeBron's legacy. He got an incredible non-call because he had the reputation at that point. He was the much better player
that's
than the
incidental
baby
con-
who was
that's
Kevin Durant.
that's incidental
It was
contact.
huge. Anybody who saw it said, wow, that was a foul.
Oh, now-
LeBron got away with that
So
one.
let me ask you a question. When they saw Kevin Durant body check him and LeBron lose the ball out of bounds, what did they say?
When?
Christmas Day.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
I'm talking about game 2 of the finals
I'm
here.
asking-
LeBron got away with a non-call.
okay.
You got to call that.
I'm asking you
Yeah.
a question, Skip. When they saw
I'm
what
just
Kevin
saying-
Durant did to
well,
him
well,
on
I'm
Christmas
asking
Day.
you a question.
Yes.
What if Kevin Durant gets that call because we know he's a 92% free throw shooter? He's going to go make those, and all of a sudden the pressure is going to go back on the Heat. What if they blow that game? And then I'll
We
give
weren't
you
blowing
this.
jack.
But if you go back to Miami, it was 2-3-2 then format. So you got 3 games at home, and of course the first one's the Dwayne Wade game, the second one's the Mario Chalmers game, and the third one is the Mike Miller game. Not LeBron games. Those guys
Who was
just
the MVP?
Check
his numbers.
You got it.
Check his numbers,
Okay, but
and
here's
you'll
the
know
point.
why.
If you had to go back to Oklahoma City up 3-2, I don't love
We
your
did.
chances. I don't love them.
We went back next year right before the All-Star game. Remember that, Skip?
Yeah.
When LeBron did it
It's
again.
called the NBA Finals.
Whoa, Skip, whoa, time out.
You know, I mean, if you want to open it, you open the can, and I open the can on you.
You see what happens? Now, we're talking about something that just happened a day ago. Skip Bayless going back 5 years.
I'm just showing you what, if you want to say, let's go back and look at these calls. Well, LeBron's gotten a bunch of good calls here. He got that one. That was that saved his legacy. What if he loses that finals?
This is what we're talking about. We're talking about Christmas Day. Joey asked me a question.
Yeah.
Should the officials be able to review foul calls?
No.
I'm saying, all I'm
No.
saying is when the ball is stopping,
can't.
you try. Hold on. You cannot.
Just because there's some fluky stoppage of play, you can't say, oh, this time let's review.
Whoa. What's the purpose of replay?
It's judgment. For in the NFL, it's inbounds, out of bounds. Did you get your feet down? What's the video evidence?
What is the purpose or reason for replay in any sport? To make sure we got the call correct.
Except there are judgment calls like foul calls or pass interference calls or holding calls that you just have to let go of. You just have to let the humans make the call.
Oh, the ball went off LeBron. Oh,
That's
I see
different.
why it went off
That's
LeBron
different.
because Kevin Durant
That's
hacked
different.
him.
You
So
can
wouldn't they have
see.
to review every single foul?
No. Do they review? Hold on. In the last 2 minutes of the half, who take over the review in the NFL, Skip?
Okay, but you're saying just because there was a stoppage to see who the ball went off of, that you could say, oh, wait a second, it was a foul.
That was only.
Well, then you should replay and review every foul.
No, you don't.
Why
Skip.
not?
No, you don't, Skip. No, you
Why
don't.
not? If you want to get it right, to your point.
The last 2 minutes.
You said you want to get it right.
The last 2 minutes. Stop it, Skip, baby.
Yeah,
You see
I'm
how you
not.
do?
I'm
You see
starting
what you do, Skip.
You know what I'm doing? If we could have these 3 referees sitting right here, right now, you know what they would testify under oath? They would say, we got that call right because Kevin Durant deserved that call. Again, this is PR from the NBA. This is transparency saying, by the letter of the law, this was missed. The incorrect non-call, whatever. You know.
Yeah, it was wrong. They were wrong. I was right. The game, the Warriors won the game. We're not talking about one. We're winning who won and who lost. Did fouls occur? The question is yes.
In a
There were
vacuum,
fouls during the entire game, though.
Joy, don't do that.
Well,
Don't
I
do
can't
that.
imagine
So if
what
that's the
the
case,
viewing
why
experience
don't,
would be
okay,
viewing every
Skip,
foul.
why won't they let you hack the entire game? Why in the final 2 minutes you can't do it?
Well, to your point, why did LeBron and Kevin say last year, forget about the 2-minute report, it's about the whole game, to Joy's point?
I'm cool with that, Skip, but it's in play. Just like replay is in play.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you what's happening here. This is giving an excuse to all the blind witnesses led by
Oh, my
Shannon
goodness,
Sharpe
Skip Bayless,
to take
stop.
the focus off what the big picture was of that game. Kevin Durant continues to prove he's the best player on the planet.
That's not what the numbers
and
say.
He took LeBron
That's not
James
what the
out of
number-
that game.
that's not what the numbers
I just
say.
saw it with my 2 eyes. I have really good vision.
No mercy. Steeler Nation might not be too happy with this story. James Harrison signed a 1-year deal with the rival Patriots yesterday. Harrison was released Saturday by the Steelers. He's the franchise's all-time leader in sacks, but he has just 1 sack in 5 games this season. The Steelers and Patriots are currently battling for home field advantage in the playoffs. Yesterday, the 39-year-old Harrison poked fun at his new teammate, Tom Brady, on Instagram, saying, finally, a teammate that's older than me. They have similar workout routines, too.
Yeah, okay.
Shannon, how much of an impact will Harrison have?
You know, sometimes when teams acquire a player, it doesn't seem like a big deal at the time. Or they expect James Harrison, to come in and get 4 sacks. Skip, if you remember, James Harrison really only made 3 tackles and has 1 sack. Mm-hmm. But you know what game he made that in? In the Kansas City Chiefs game, week 6, on 3rd down, that really snuffed out the drive and ended.
Yep.
Pittsburgh won that ball game. Coach Belichick is looking at it. If I can just get James Harrison to make 1 play, maybe it's a deflected pass and he gets intercepted. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a forced fumble. Maybe it's a strip sack. Just 1. Skip, you remember the Percy Harvin trade. They acquired him in the offseason, $14.5 million. He was on PUP basically the entire season. He played 1 regular season game, 1 playoff game, and then he played in the Super Bowl. He ran a kickoff back, and he had like 3 or 4 first downs. So basically, they played $14.5 million for that moment in the Super Bowl. They're paying a Week 17 game check, and then James Harrison get playoff money moving forward. That's what they're playing for. And Coach Belichick says, for 1 play, that's a small price to pay. Mm-hmm. Because nobody even knew who Malcolm Butler was until he made that play. Because remember, Skip, he's the one that got beat when he got the carom tip, and the guy got up and almost ran it down in the end zone. So correct. He would have been the GOAT.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to be in the game.
Exactly. So, but that 1 play changes history for 2 franchises. Mm-hmm. James Harrison, all he has to do is make 1 play in 1 playoff game that helps this team win. And Coach Belichick and everybody in New England will say this was well worth it. Plus the fact that, Skip, he's a 3-4 linebacker. He's played basically his whole career in a 3-4 system. The 3-4 principles are the same everywhere. Now, maybe the calls may be different, but it's the same principles. And plus, you know, we know Coach Belichick loves signals. You don't think he knows? You don't think he knows the Steelers' signals? Now, I don't think the Steelers are going to go through everything. We're assuming that they're going to meet. For the sake of this argument, we're going to assume they're going to meet. There's no way the Steelers are going to change all their calls because James Harrison now is not on the Patriots. But he could offer some insight. Now, I'm not saying that Baltimore, you know, I told everything I knew about Denver when we played them in the playoffs, Skip, but I'm just saying this. They did put me under them hot lags. It got hot. They didn't give me water for about 3 or 4 hours, so I did have to reveal some information.
So that's all you have to do?
They had under them, Joy. They starved me for like 6 hours. Hot light.
Can't handle the pressure. You're
Hot
gonna cry.
light. Told me they were going to take my dog Samson. Okay, this is what they do. This is a looky route. Slant, sluggo,
I get
come
that.
back.
I get that, but I don't think Tom Brady needs all that much inside intel to beat Pittsburgh. I think he's been doing pretty well on his own. You know,
Yeah.
but still, there could be a little help here and there. I would agree. I would agree. And by the way, Joy, to your point, if anyone in Steelers Nation has a problem with this, the first problem should be with your head coach, Mike Tomlin. He cut him.
Yeah.
Right? He knew he's risking this because Belichick is, this is what he does.
All
he
he had-
tweaks people.
Wait one
Right?
more week, Skip.
Yeah.
Wait one more week,
Could've
then
waited.
release him, and then you can't.
Yeah.
They couldn't sign.
And remember, James Harrison was pretty much a no-show all year for them, except for the one.
Kansas.
I'm with you, but he had played in 14 games 40 snaps. To this point last year, he'd played 587 snaps. Well, he's just not much of a factor. And obviously, Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt.
They drafted
taken
T.J.
over.
Watt in the first
Okay.
round.
And they can both play zone blitz and cover receivers,
Correct.
you know. And so James on his last legs, but he's still got a little bit left.
He got some strong ass
Okay,
legs.
got
You see all
some
that weight,
strong legs.
all that weight he pushing.
You know, that's not how Tom Brady does it, but maybe he'll learn something about
Well,
Tom
Tom
Brady
Brady-
about elongating the muscle.
I tell you what, you ain't playing that position that James Harrison played with no elongated
I
muscles.
don't know. You
No?
could be
Maybe
right
they'll do
about
yoga together.
Okay.
that. But what happened last year with this guy named Chris Long, who's now a Philadelphia Eagle, he made one play. I couldn't remember any plays all year, but he made one play in the Super Bowl. He forced a holding call on Jake Matthews in that final Atlanta drive in regulation when it looked like the game was about to be over.
Yep.
And they go backward, and they end up having to punt, no
Instead of
field
attempting
goal.
field goal.
And Tom Brady goes 91 yards for the tying touchdown, not the tie. He had to go for two to tie, but then it goes to overtime. Well, that was the play.
Yep.
So Chris Long was worth it. And then what you brought up the point after the year, Chris Long is saying, I want to play. You know, I want to actually be in a rotation.
They
right?
watching Monday night. What'd you see Monday night, Skip?
He was around.
All over.
Yeah, he was all over the place. Okay, so I get that. But the Patriots cut somebody named Trevor Riley to make room for James Harrison. James Harrison or Trevor Riley.
Shit, they could have cut Teddy Riley for all I care.
Well, I'm just
James
saying.
Harrison can play.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
going to make one, Skip, I promise you. He'll make one play. I don't know if it's going to be in the divisional
Sure.
but he'll make one play and you're just like, how does the Patriots always do this? Why does someone cut him and it's like, well, he can't play. And the next thing you know, he's making a play for the Patriots. Why does it always happen like that?
After the first 11 weeks of the 2014 season, the Pittsburgh Steelers cut this running back named LeGarrette Blount, who had been a Patriot before. And guess who? Bill Belichick said, hey, come on back. And guess what happened?
Championship game.
Championship. You
With
remember?
bonkers.
Oh,
He couldn't play, because think about it, Skip. This was a Monday night game. Le'Veon Bell goes for 200 yards, I think against the Titans. He walks out the locker room, you know, all
man.
upset.
No, I got it.
Mike Tomlin says, okay, I got to get you up out of here. Because remember,
Sure.
in the offseason, him and Le'Veon had gotten into it with the car, the police officer, and that story. So he was already on thin ice with with Mike T with that point.
He was.
And then when that happened on Monday night, because Skip, how you going to rotate? A guy goes for 205 in an NFL game. What you talking about rotation?
okay. I got it.
Coach Belichick said, oh, you mad
Thank
at
you
them?
very
huh?
much.
You always get the guy that's ticked off, Skip.
And here they went, and they won another Super Bowl with LeGarrette Blount as a driving force of that, right?
Yeah.
So one reason Belichick can get away with this is because he has number 12 at quarterback who just sort of cancels out all the issues that, and you can, you know, if you got 12, you got a shot, but you can mix and match little pieces, hoping for one play from this guy and one play from that
Coach
guy.
Belichick.
Get away with it.
Stop it. Stop it. You need to give Coach Belichick more credit
Nope.
than that. Because the greatest show on turf, he held them to 17 points. The MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year, he held them in check. Now, he keeps doing this. They never scored. I mean, why don't the teams that he played in the Super Bowls, why don't they ever reach their average in that game? You know why? Because that mastermind. I get Tom Brady, and I'm not trying to minimize Tom Brady like you do Coach Belichick. You need to give him some credit, Skip.
Well, wait a second. That 6th-round pick in that game, the guy nobody even knew who he was, and I remember John Madden up in the booth saying,
Play for
they need
overtime.
to shut it down. You know, just take the kid out of harm's way. And he goes, completion, 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 and all of a sudden, you got a 49-yard field goal, and Vinatieri made it.
Yeah. But
Next year, that was a high-scoring game against Carolina, right?
But I'm saying though, Skip, in that game, the Rams were leading the league in
They
scoring
were.
that year.
Nope,
They
it was
didn't
shocking.
get close to that.
Nope.
And that was because
It was a great game plan.
The Atlanta Falcons were leading the league in scoring last year. They didn't get close to that number. Why? Again, this year, the 5th-ranked scoring defense in football. You keep saying, I get it. He doesn't have the big names. Coach Belichick probably will not have a guy that goes to the Hall of Fame. Now, Ty Law's going to get some consideration. So will Seymour, Willie McGinnis. But Skip.
Eric Mangini came up with a masterful game plan
Yes.
for the game, right?
Coach, hold up.
I'm kidding.
Hold on.
Kidding.
You can't minimize Coach Belichick because we saw what he did in 1990 against the K-Gun and the Buffalo Bills. That game plan, that defensive game plan is in the Hall of Fame.
But I'm just saying, when you have Tom Brady, you can just get away with mixing and matching just about anybody, and it will end up making you look pretty good.
But you got to stop people from scoring. Because Tom Brady did go head-to-head. He went head-to-head with Kurt Warner. He was probably the best quarterback of all the – well, he wasn't better than Kurt at the time. But when you look at it, Skip, I mean, who was he's gone against that he wasn't better at the time that he's gone against him?
Well, I don't know. You can make a lot of cases.
Who?
Well,
he wasn't better. So Donovan McNabb was better than he was. So was Jake Delhomme.
Okay.
Really, Skip?
I don't know. Jake Delhomme had a really big year. You might have said going into that game, Jake Delhomme is right there with Tom Brady. Well, nobody really was buying into Tom Brady at that point.
Skip.
Did he not outgun them? They put up a bunch of points.
Yeah, both of them
put a high score.
I mean, he did nothing in the first quarter, then it goes bonkers again in the second quarter, really nothing in the third, and then you get this haywire game back and forth in the fourth quarter. But stop it now. Stop it. You know
it's a quarterback's game, and the clutchest
Coach
quarterback in
Belichick,
Super Bowl
and
history
Coach
is Tom
Belichick
Brady.
always finds a way to take the opposing quarterback out of it. And he never puts up the numbers that they normally put up in the regular season. Why is that, Skip? Is Tom Brady playing? See, Tom Brady got that Sean Lee in him, Joe. He can play both sides of the ball. You get it? Yeah, I see what he did.
You know, you keep making jokes about Sean Lee, and you look more and more foolish because every commentator on TV says, you know, it's funny, the Cowboys have a really good defense with Sean Lee and the worst defense without him. That's interesting.
My point is, what that got to do with their offense? You blame everything on Sean Lee. What that got to do with their offense? Did the commentators say that?
They don't have Tom Brady on offense. Yep.
And hey, you owe me a case of due because Dak Prescott ain't going to get nowhere near them 30 touchdowns.
What did that? I don't even know what
Don't worry about
it.
it, Skip. We talking
Now
about that.
you're
No,
making up phantom bets.
No, I told you. He wouldn't have nowhere near the numbers he had last year. But I feel bad for you, Skip. I hate that the Cowboys are not in it. I really do.
You should hate it for us.
No,
You should hate it for
no.
Well, I was sad to see James go, but I did chuckle a little bit when I saw that Belichick picked him up. It's such a Bill move.
Yeah, Coach Belichick.
He's always up to
Pick your boy up. I'd try to get me an extra ring, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stop in there right at the end?
I don't know what play I can make for you, but
Yeah. Well, you can call him Big Play Jay now, right?
yeah, James, he going to make one play.
No mercy.
Here we go. 2 weeks ago, our very own Eric Dickerson was in Cabo to watch Ezekiel Elliott train while he served his 6-game suspension. Zeke bet Eric that he could rush for 200 yards in his first game back against Seattle. It did not go as planned for Zeke because he rushed for just 97 yards, and the Cowboys lost, ending their playoff chances. Eric Dickerson.
Good morning.
Eric Dickerson.
Good morning.
It is so good to see you.
Man, you too.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you writing over there. I don't even need notes for
Go
that.
ahead, Skip.
My turn.
Good luck, Eric.
Eric Dickerson, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I want to congratulate you on wrecking my Dallas Cowboys season. I want to congratulate you on being one of the shrewdest operators I have ever encountered because you even pulled the wool right over my eyes. The last time you sat in that seat, 2 weeks ago, you broke the news that you had been invited by Zeke's agent to go down to Cabo San Lucas and to counsel young Zeke on how to handle himself on and off the field. And I was mesmerized. I was spellbound. And you divulged to our huge audience here on Undisputed that, gee, Zeke even said he was going to go for 200 plus against the Seattle Seahawks in his return. And you said, gee, I bet him. No, there's no way you're going to go for 200. I'll bet you a game-worn jersey. You're a Hall of Famer, so that's a pretty valuable jersey that you have, that number 28 against one of Zeke's game-worn jerseys. And I got so caught up in, because I love this show, that you were
2-9, but that's I'm going to
2-9. I'm sorry.
I'll correct that later. Go ahead.
I'm thinking of Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
2-9, but I got so caught up in the news that you were breaking that I lost sight of the fact that not until Joe Buck said during the Fox telecast Zeke was not very happy that you went public with the bet because you actually rigged the bet on your behalf because clearly the Seattle Seahawks, as injured as they might be, are still a very proud bunch. And they can play angry about as well as anybody in the National Football League. And so you pushed all the buttons in the Seattle locker room. They were on fire to stop Ezekiel Elliott and help you win your bet because you used your public platform here on Undisputed and other platforms that you have to sabotage him in the game against the Seattle Seahawks. The game I had to win to stay alive for the playoffs. This was it. I felt so good about it. And I realized when Joe Buck said that, he got me. It's ED at work, shrewd operator. You broke the unwritten rule. What is said in Cabo stays in Cabo. You can't go public with that. Okay. How can you defend this? You realize you burned the bridge to Zeke. He's not going to talk to you anymore, right?
Are you finished?
I'm just getting started.
Well, look, I'll say this. First, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's just on
I was
tape.
just talking.
It's just
you asked me, how did it go down in college? I was just trying to
no,
tell you.
you volunteered. We didn't know.
I was just trying to tell you how it went. I know for a fact that when you say something, that that probably the other team is gonna probably look at it.
Probably.
Yeah, they probably look at it. I'm not a Cowboy lover, as we know. Look. Y'all wasn't gonna make the playoffs, no.
Yes, we were.
No, you were not.
Yep.
No, you were not.
Yep.
That's what I told Zeke. I said, look, why don't we just make it 150 or 170? Let's just cut it back. No, I want to. And I did not know that y'all were playing the Seahawks. I don't know the Cowboys schedule. I thought maybe y'all playing somebody like, the Browns or the Cardinals or something like that. Then I saw Seahawks. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna win this bet. I'm gonna win this bet. So, in my defense, I plead the fifth. I did not know that y'all were playing the Seahawks. And I didn't know that was going to cause that kind of problem. I didn't know the Seahawks would come out and play like that. I mean,
But you had to know that again, to make your bet far more winnable, if you go public with the bet, the Seahawks are not going to like it.
So let me ask you this question.
Played.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let's just say nothing was said. You think he was still going to go for 200 yards? Be honest now.
I mean, if they'd hand him
Be
the ball,
honest.
like in the
Like
second
50
half,
times?
he had 73 at halftime, so he had a chance, right?
That's what they call it, halftime adjustments. Halftime adjustment. But do you really think he's going to go?
You know what? I think you would have had a far better chance. All I read after the game was quote after quote from Bobby Wagner, who can play angry about as well as anybody. We were not going to let him do this. And that little, what was his name? Little Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
He picks that off and he runs and jumps in the Salvation Army pot because they were all geared to stop Zeke. He was sending a message. Yeah, you ain't going to do it to us on national TV in your house.
Well, they were killing Dak. I mean, the thing was the pass rushers getting them. So y'all had nothing to work with. So it's not my
I don't
fault.
have ED.
What you think about it?
You have a huge
I
problem
don't have
with
a
it.
problem with it. You know why? Because if I were to go hunt lions in Africa, not that I would, I'm going to go to the Serengeti. I don't need a tracker. I don't need anything. I'm going to go yelling and screaming. Because I don't want him to think I'm sneaking up on him. I want you to know. That's why I talk, Joey. You know why I talk, ED? I talk because I didn't. Man, I ain't know Shannon Sharpe was that good. Yeah, you did, because I told you I was that good, and I told you I was going to come get me 100 on you. Zeke, Skip, there's no secret they were going to hand the ball. That's the only way they can win. They're not winning games with Dak throwing the ball. They must run the football. So it's not. Did you actually think they were going to give up 200 yards after they just gave up 244 to the Rams the week before?
Thank you.
Did you actually think that, Skip Bayless?
Skip no better.
Here, Joe Buck said Zeke told them in their production meeting on Saturday, I didn't know Eric was going to go public with this bet. You can't do that. You know and I know what that did. You sabotaged it. It's over. No way.
Remember I told you this, excuse me, Shannon. Remember I told you this early. Now, you can probably go back and look at it. Didn't I tell you that y'all would trade Todd Gurley straight up for Zeke? I would take Todd. Didn't I say that?
Now
didn't I say that?
You're front runner.
Didn't I say that? Did I not say that? I just want to know. Did I say that?
Yeah,
yes, I did.
Now, he's right there with Le'Veon Bell because he can catch the ball just as good as Le'Veon. Yeah. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. But anyway, Skip Bayless.
Wait a second. I'm
Go
going to bite my lip on this because we're going to talk about Todd Gurley.
Okay, how about before we go into Skip? Your team had every opportunity. Zeke wasn't even there, so forget the bet. What about those other 6 games?
That has nothing to do with the bet. The bet sabotaged. We had it.
The bet was he get 200 yards. He gets a game-worn 29 Rams jersey. He didn't get it. Now cough it up, Zeke.
Yeah, but the
I
Seahawks said their sole motivation was to stop Zeke and beat Dallas.
That's their sole
Fired
motivation
them
to
up.
beat the
That's
Cowboys.
everybody's motivation.
Wrecked my season.
No.
I had it.
You know,
Dak did.
You know who did that? You know who
Dak
did? You know who did that? Really? This
Jerry Jones?
No, Sean Lee.
Ah!
I blame on Sean Lee. That's what I blame on.
Sean Lee can play offense. He can play. All I know is Bobby Wagner playing with a hurt hamstring, making plays side to side.
What happened in the second half against your Rams? What happened in the second half against your Aaron Rodgers?
Did we win that football game? That's all I want to know.
Help me out. Was Zeke playing in those two games? Yes, he was. Was Sean Lee playing in those two games? No, he was not.
What was Sean Lee trying to do? Chase Todd Gurley down. What did he do? Pull a hamstring
No,
because
he was
faster.
gone. He wasn't there. He was gone.
Okay.
Edie, I got this
Chase
new restaurant. I'm gonna take the ladies first. What would you have?
I'll have some.
Hot dub or hot ale? Hot dub.
I'll have one.
One hot dub for you. One hot ale for you.
Can you put me a jersey on that too?
Yeah. Okay, he gets a hot dub and hot jersey. And me, I get a cold dew.
Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer. Did this Hall of Famer not break the unwritten rule that you don't go public with a bet like that?
I don't play
Go
for the Cowboys. I don't play. Do I play for the Cowboys?
No. That's information.
You play for the Cowboys?
Hold on.
I play for the
Wait a second.
No.
You were summoned by the agent to go to Cabo and
did.
impart wisdom.
I
to
did.
this
I
poor
did. I
kid
did.
who's serving a 6-game suspension, and he's going to have to come back, even though you claim you didn't know, against the Seahawks.
I did not know. I really
And
didn't
so
know.
he's feeling his oats. He's got a new physique.
Yeah,
he's
look good.
He's re-ripped. He's lost his little pot belly. And he says, Eric, I'm going for 200. And you said, oh, 200. And all of a sudden you make a bet. It's just you two talking at dinner. This is
He's
not
a journalist.
Remember, you said
He's not a journalist.
You sit here. You said to me, "Oh, with Todd Gurley, man, I think that's a good bet. I think he can do that." You said it right here on air. Did you say that too?
I didn't make a bet with Todd
But
Gurley.
no, I'm not.
If Todd
I'm
Gurley
no,
made a
not
bet
Todd,
with
not
me,
Todd.
I wouldn't go public
No,
with
not
it.
Todd. I'm talking about Zeke. I asked you. You said, "Oh yeah, I think he can do that."
I said he
Zeke?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said.
but I was caught up and you were breaking news that you
Yeah.
were the only one in captivity who got to go out and see where Zeke was.
So I got you caught up then.
I didn't know he was in Cabo.
So I got you caught up.
We thought he was in
I got you caught
Europe.
up. I got you caught up, huh?
Oh, okay, Edie,
I
bring
got
some
it
more
caught up.
news.
I
When you
got
getting that jersey?
I called his agent yesterday. I said, I want that jersey from the Seahawks too.
Did he,
Yeah.
did he take your call?
Of course he talked to me. He
yeah.
said the same thing. Man, you sabotage. I'm like, yeah, it's sabotage.
So is
That's
Zeke mad at you?
No.
That sounds just like
No,
Rocky.
the agent said that.
Rocky.
You know Rocky.
Yeah, I know
He
Rocky.
said- I said, then he gave him the ball. I said, what, 60 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, 60 times to get 20 yards.
That's what I told Skip. I just didn't think that he was in the football conditioning. Unless you break off a 70, you need 2 runs of at least almost 100 yards.
You need
Then you can get 25 more for another 100. But without those big long runs, Skip, he wasn't going to get
Well, I
that.
guess he was just so gassed and so worn out and so out of shape that when it was first and goal at the 3 with 7:54 left in the fourth
Yeah, that was
quarter,
a bad
they
call.
decided we can't hand it to Zeke in
yeah,
this
that was a
case
bad
because,
deal.
hey, you want to talk about bad? That blew the whole year for me. They had the momentum back. They're going to cut it to 21-19. The crowd's back into it. And you do that and that and that,
Jason
and you
Garrett-
score none?
Jason Garrett was listening to Careless Whisper in his headset. So, and you know, you get Skip. That song start playing, man. Oh, man. Should have known better than oh, Skip. I'm sorry.
They're walking off the field after a missed field goal, and he's going like this. Robot. He just keeps clapping. You
Well,
don't even know what's happening.
Hold on. As long as Jerry Skip, you're gonna be look, you when you covered the Cowboys, there was probably 3 of the greatest years of your life. Cowboys were winning, they were winning Super Bowls. But
Wait, you got to go back another rotation there.
oh yeah,
gotta,
okay,
you gotta go back to the
so
70s.
you
Those
got
are
him in the
great
70s.
too.
You got him in the 70s.
Yeah.
Y'all was some poo-poo in the 80s. Y'all picked up Steve started running again in the 90s, and then this has been all.
like a flat tire.
I mean, Skip, when y'all gonna hit bottom?
Hit bottom. We got lots of Lombardis. We hit top a lot.
Oh, like you told me, that's in the past. That's old news.
That's in the past.
No, but I got that. I got it.
Do you know
on my mantle?
Do
I
you
got
know?
those
Do you know
Lombardis.
since then? Patriots got 5, Broncos got 3, Steelers got 3,
We even got us-
Giants got 2. I mean, look at all the teams that got all these multiple since y'all. They got more Lombardis than y'all got playoffs wins since y'all. Oh my goodness!
Scariest team in the NFC playoffs would have been the Dallas
I don't know
Cowboys.
what would have happened.
But that man
Oh,
stopped it.
please. Let me tell you something.
Yep.
We'd have beat y'all to death at home. we'd have killed y'all.
You know what?
Y'all, I mean, no,
Did you beat us to death in that game?
Yes! We came from behind and beat y'all.
What was the score at halftime?
What was the score? 35-30, something like that?
35 to
But
30.
y'all were down 1 point, 24-6.
Exactly. We won the game. That's all that counts.
Outscored you guys.
24-16 at halftime.
Bro, first of all, y'all not playing that good no way.
No.
Y'all not playing. Come on, you got to admit it. Y'all ain't playing good.
And
The offensive line.
Did you see Jordan Lewis trying to guard Jimmy Graham? Jimmy Graham posted him up. I thought he was Emmanuel
Wait a second.
Lewis.
Time out. Seattle had 136 total yards. Total yards. That's how good Sean Lee made that defense.
What about tell him about Dak? Tell him what Dak did.
Who won the game?
I should have bet Dak jersey. I want that jersey.
You know what it is about Eric? He says everything with this smile on his face. You know?
I don't know
You should
what
be
y'all
a
talking about.
salesman.
Hey, I
don't know
can
what
tell
you're
you this.
talking
You will not be invited to counsel Zeke anymore.
Yeah.
That's over.
I'm a good counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a good counselor.
Yeah.
I am. I've been there, done that.
Skip, I mean, you make it seem like ED was out there tackling the man.
Exactly. I didn't make him make that bet.
You realize there are doctor-patient privileges that you just don't, you just don't
Oh,
divulge.
I'm not
you
doctor.
can't go public
It's not
with
doctor in front of my name.
Oh.
You can just put Mister.
He's a journalist.
Yeah, he's
And he
Well,
asked
let's
me,
talk about Eric's guy. Will Todd Gurley win the MVP award over Tom Brady? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
The Panthers moved to 11-4 after their win against the Bucks, but the headline is what happened after the win. Ron Rivera gathered the team in the locker room and used team owner Jerry Richardson's name in the chant. Last week, Richardson said he was going to sell the team after the season, following allegations of sexual harassment and making racial remarks to a former team scout. Let's take a listen to Rivera in the locker room.
Just remember, guys, it's about team. Everything we do is about team. Most important thing is about team, okay? All right, do me a favor. Mr. Richardson on 3. 1, 2, 3, Mr. Richardson!
Shannon, do you have a problem with this?
I absolutely have a problem with this. I understand that Ron Rivera and Cam and some of the players probably didn't know this side of Mr. Richardson, what's being detailed in this SI report. Now, I'm not talking about the 4 suits that settled. I'm talking about the allegations of what's possible to come. I believe, Skip, that there's a way to support a friend without doing it like this. Because Mr. Richardson is alive because he has a donor's heart. And when Mr. Richardson was going through what he was going through, Skip, if you want to rally around that, have at it. That big drum that we just showed in the video montage, that's Sam Mills, who lost his battle with cancer. He said, I'm just going to keep pounding. I'm going to keep fighting. And they use that as a rallying cry. I get it. But to rally against these allegations, Skip, it's basically like you're rallying for the disease. This makes no sense to me, Skip. There's nothing good. And for Ron Rivera and Cam Newton's sake, I hope that these are all allegations and they can be proven as such. Because if they're not, Ron Rivera and Cam Newton are going to have some really, really tough questions to answer that they didn't have to answer. Because had it been me, because Cam had 3 days, Skip. This report came out on Friday. You had 3 days to come up with a statement. You and your people sit down and says, okay, Cam, you know they're going to come to you. You're the face of the franchise. You're the captain. You're the quarterback. You're the former MVP. They're coming to you. This is what you should say. Guys, I have a very unique relationship with Mr. Richardson. He made me his first overall draft pick. I have a very unique relationship with him. I don't know this side of Mr. Richardson that's being detailed in these allegations.
Yep.
But I'm going to let this investigation play out. So moving forward, I would have no further comments until all of this is resolved. I'm not plunging in because unless Cam Newton knows something, we don't. Unless Ron Rivera knows something, we don't. Now, Mr. Richardson may be telling them because it was reported that Mr. Richardson called, they had a meeting and they talked about, I don't know what he said. He might have said, hey, guys, all this is a bunch of BS. Hey, I get it. That's his side of the story. But, Skip, while you're rallying for Mr. Richardson, you're stomping on the alleged victims. Let them have their day. This will play out. This will play itself out, and we will find out. I hope, Skip, nothing good can come of this. Nothing good can come of this, Skip. They backed themselves into a corner. Ron Rivera and Cam Newton placed themselves into a corner they didn't have to be. You're rallying for something, man, you don't want to be on the wrong side of this history. And I'm afraid that they might have positioned themselves, Skip, into something they can't get out of. They're going to have some tough, they're going to have to answer some very tough questions, in the very near future.
Okay, I'm really with your big picture point, but just for the record, Sports Illustrated reported there have already been at least 4 cases
Yes.
of sexual harassment against this owner that he paid off 4 women
Yes.
to keep quiet about. So it wasn't just a one-off. It
Yeah.
wasn't lesson learned, just one time.
Not
it's
a
a
two-
pattern, right?
Yeah. One you might, oh, that's, come on, for real. But 4 times, Skip?
Okay, and let's bring back up. There was one case of a racial slur used against a scout who is no longer with the organization. And for the record, Ron Rivera is Latino, so he's a minority, but still, are we just going to sweep that one under the carpet too? Because doesn't that not ring so true in the locker room?
Yeah.
That you're going to support 1, 2, 3, Mr. Richardson, really, for that? And look, usually this is where an owner steps in when something like this is going on and saying, timeout, bad look for us, not good for our brand, let's protect the shield. But in this case, the owner is the perpetrator, right?
Right.
So there's no checks and balance here for the head coach. And I get it, what you pointed out, that Cam and Rivera, that Jerry Richardson's done a lot for them. They have love for him. I get all that, but you stated the case very clearly. There's a way to honor him without defending him.
Sometimes really good people, Skip,
Yeah.
do some really bad
okay.
things.
So look, if they use this as a rallying cry, and let's just do the hypothetical, and they go win the Super Bowl for Mr. Richardson, I guess there are a lot of fans in Panther Nation who'd say, well, I guess it's okay. But right now, I'm just going to guess that there are a whole lot of women out there who are outraged, and I'm hoping there are a whole lot of men out there who are outraged that they're using this as their rallying cry. Let's do it for Mr. Richardson after all that we already know.
If like we've seen teammates where they lose a child or their wife gets sick or a mother gets sick, like Tom Brady's mom was going through what she was going through last year. And so if they wanted to rally around and galvanize behind that, I get it. But Skip, this?
Yeah.
If this is what you want to say, you know what? We're winning for this cause.
Yeah. Aren't they basically saying what he did is no big deal, right?
You're rallying for the disease, basically.
Yeah.
Because you could have rallied when he had his heart thing. Sam Mills, to keep pounding, I'm a pound away, guys. I'm not going to give up this fight. Sam lost his brave fight against this disease. They still honor him by keep pounding, Skip, the drum that they bang on before every game.
Joy, help us out.
I mean, this is why people don't come forward when something happens to them, because it doesn't matter if you have settled cases. It doesn't matter if there's a full NFL investigation. It doesn't matter if he's selling the team out of nowhere. It doesn't matter if there's credible journalistic stories in depth with multiple sources. People will still call you a liar. Why would you put yourself through that? So when Cam says what he says and Ron Rivera asks the entire team to support the owner, this is what you're supporting. You're basically saying all these allegations are not true.
I tell you what, Skip, I don't know if people know this. The NFL is taking it serious. They're not letting Lisa Friel handle this. They went outside. They say we don't, because what happened with the Zeke situation and the Lisa Friel and Kia Roberts, they say, no, we're gonna turn this to outside. We're going to let them do their due diligence. And see, I think if Mr. Richards, if Lisa Friel and NFL had handled it like that, I'm not so sure. But when they go digging, this outside people go digging, Skip.
It's just disappointing. There's a way to support, like you said, there's a way to support your friend without alienating someone who is saying that your friend did something terrible to them.
That's not
I have
the guy I
no
know.
problem saying this is a person that I know, that I love, that I care about, but I have nothing to say about what's going on.
Right.
Let it play out. What is the problem with saying I have no comment?
What-
But what Rivera did was take it a step further. Not only do I have no comment, I support him and back him up 100%, and I'm going to make sure the whole team rallies around him. Like you said, you better hope you're right.
Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, Mr. Richardson? That's so bad and sad that it's almost laughable. Like, he really said that?
I think it would have been inappropriate had he done it and the camera's not been there.
Right.
Do you know NFL films, they're there to capture the sights and sounds? Didn't you know how this was going to play on TV? Did you even think that far in advance, Skip? I don't think he did. I don't think Cam, when Cam gave his defense, I don't think Cam, he just went up there and winged it. There are certain things, now if I'm going to a friend's bachelor party or I'm his best man, I can wing that. This is not something you wing. You better have some notes. You better have a general idea.
Well, Cam said it's just allegations.
Well, what Cam was accused of and what Richardson is accused of are not in the same ballpark.
No.
I understand where he's coming from, that he has some sympathy for someone who's accused of something that wasn't true, but you're going to link what you did with what Mr. Richardson is accused of? Why?
We're seeing guys losing their careers. Cam, you were never going to lose your NFL career. Now, you might have lost your ability to play at Auburn for the championship or the SEC championship
Cam
game.
was accused of was not causing harm to other people.
No.
And it really
wasn't
what
Cam.
It was his father.
His dad was alleged had done.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Ooh.
No mercy.
It looks like a two-horse race for NFL MVP. Tom Brady leads the league in passing yards and is third in touchdown passes, but he's thrown an interception in 5 straight games. On the other end, Todd Gurley is rolling. In his last 3 games, he has 8 total touchdowns, and he leads the league in rushing. I'm joined once again by Eric Dickerson. Eric, has Gurley taken the lead in the MVP race?
Well, can I say this first? First of all, I want to say, did y'all like my tie?
Very nice.
It's almost cowboy color, isn't it?
Yeah, it has
Well,
sabotage written all over.
I got to say this. My 5-year-old son took 15 minutes, his mom said, to pick this tie for me. So I just had to. And his name is Dallas, too.
You named him Dallas?
His name is Dallas. D-A-L-L-I-S.
Okay.
But so I got to say, son, thank you for my tie.
That's very nice.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Dallas.
So now, yes, Todd Gurley should win this MVP. You're talking about a guy that has 2,093 yards, total yards from scrimmage. He has 19 touchdowns. I had 18 or 20, my rookie year. The thing about what makes Todd so good and so explosive is that now you see what he can do in the game on third down. You see how even on second down, but last year they didn't do this for Todd. I mean, he didn't have an offensive line. People saying, he's washed up, or was he the right guy to have? I tell you what, I bet he won most people their fantasy football league picks this year because of having Todd Gurley, for sure. You said it earlier. Tom Brady, for sure, I know you're a Tom Brady guy. He's had 5 picks his last four games. And Todd is going like this. Tom is going like this. Well, and even in age, he's like that. I mean, you got to say this much here. Tom, hold on, can I finish? Tom is a great quarterback. There's no doubt about that. Great quarterback. But I still say the system. It's the system.
The system.
Can I finish?
He invented
Can
the
I
system.
finish? Can I finish, Skip?
Finish.
Think what I'm saying. It's the system. And look, Garoppolo did well in that system. And taking nothing away from Tom Brady, but you have to say, if you take Todd Gurley away from the Rams right now, took him away, didn't say he didn't play this year, I think they have maybe 6 or 7 wins. They're not the same football team, for sure. So to me, Todd Gurley is the MVP of the National Football League as it stands right now.
I agree with you. I believe he's jumped Tom Brady. He's having a special season. Even when Adrian Peterson won his MVP season, he only had 13 touchdowns from scrimmage. Todd Gurley has 19. He's leading the league in rushing. And Skip, you say, this is what you like, your eyes, what did your eyes tell you? In the month of December, there's one quarterback that's thrown more interceptions than Tom Brady. Take a guess who it is. Deshaun Kaiser is the only quarterback in the NFL in December. Now, that's when money time, everybody, hey, you want to play your best football in December. He has a lower yards per attempt than one Mitchell Trubisky. Now, Mitchell Trubisky was allowed to throw the ball 7 times in an NFL game this year. Tom Brady in the month of December is averaging fewer yards per attempt than Mitchell Trubisky. Now, Tom Brady, they're winning. Todd Gurley's winning. And not only are they winning, they're winning, and he's putting up huge numbers. So, Skip, I don't know what to tell you. First of all, Tom Brady ain't even the most valuable quarterback. He happened to have ACL surgery a week ago. That's Carson Wentz. But between these two, it's Todd Gurley.
You finished?
Todd Gurley.
You know what? They should rescind both of your Hall of Fame commercials because that was the biggest bunch of hogwash that has ever been spilled out into the middle of this desk. Neither of you believe it. There's Brady hate that it's like a stench across the table.
Why we hate Brady?
I like Brady.
Tom Brady has a mediocre football team right now positioned to be the #1 seed in the AFC. It's extraordinary what he has done. He took a mediocre football team, and he is the all-time greatest quarterback. There's no debate about that. and had one of his greatest years to lift it above the Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the way, he just went to Pittsburgh in the month of December and threw another party in Pittsburgh.
He didn't throw no party,
He
Skip.
did too.
He did not.
Picked them to pieces. Are you kidding me? And Todd Gurley is the biggest Johnny-come-lately ever thrown into the MVP conversation. He's had I'll give him great. He's had 2 great games. Help me out.
about that one in Dallas?
Against Seattle, there's no Sean Lee. He just ran wild in the second.
Hey, that's football.
Nobody does that
That's
to Dallas.
football.
Nobody does
Sean
it.
Lee played in that game. He got hurt.
You told me the Cowboys are terrible, so what's it matter? And look, what happened when Seattle went to Los Angeles? Go look at Todd Gurley's numbers.
13 carries.
Yeah. What? But he got nothing. 43 yards?
What happened?
Terrible.
What happened?
It was
what happened?
terrible.
What happened when Kansas City went to New England?
Stop it. That
What
was a
happened when he
long
went to
time ago.
Miami?
Okay, what happened the next week after the debacle that was the Thursday night opener? Tom Brady went to Drew Brees. Remember, this is Drew Brees, and you kept saying, that's a historically bad Saints defense. And I said, no, it's not. It's really good. It was really good.
Tell the people at home how many yards Tom passed for in the first half against that defense.
Which defense?
New Orleans.
He just blitzed them, man. He threw for 302 yards.
Historically
And
bad
they were,
defense.
Oh, really? Go check them out.
I said at the
They're
time.
all the same guys. They're the same guys.
Is that the same team?
It was
Are the Saints
unbelievable
the
what
same
he has
team
done.
then as they are now?
Was Deshaun Watson not the hottest passer in pro football at the point that he goes up there the next week to New England?
Yeah.
And Tom Brady throws a walk-off pass to a new receiver in Brandon Cooks. So he doesn't have Julian Edelman. He doesn't have Martellus. He lost Malcolm Mitchell, who was looking like he was going to turn into a really
What about
quality
Gronk?
receiver.
What about Gronk?
And now he's got no Chris Hogan. You've told me again and again that offensive line can't protect him. He's taken way too
I
many
said
hits.
that early, Skip. But you still,
You
know
want
what?
to talk about historically bad
you see
defense?
what he
How
did?
about New England?
Edie, you see what he did there? He talked about who they don't have Hogan. They don't have this guy.
They
He
don't
won't
have
mention that old
anything.
big monster.
It's a mediocre team.
87.
Yeah, did he have him last year for the last 8 games? And he went and won the Super Bowl
He had
without him
Edelman.
because
He
he's
had
Tom
Edelman.
Brady.
He had Edelman.
Todd
Oh,
Gurley.
he had Edelman. Now you're saying he had a 7th-round draft choice who played quarterback.
Skip, see, you think because they're not Antonio Brown and Julio Jones, they can't play.
Okay.
You think his running backs, because they're not Todd Gurley or Le'Veon Bell, they can't play. Those guys fit perfect in that system.
Right,
Who
the
has
system.
the better team, the Rams or New England? Take quarterback out.
Who's
of it.
having the better season?
Who has-
Tom Brady or Todd Gurley?
It's Tom Brady by far because his degree of difficulty is so much higher. And by the way,
Playing in the AFC East against the Bills in the
how about the NFC East? It's been worse than the AFC East.
Because y'all ain't hold up y'all end of the deal. We already knew the AFC was going to be bad.
So that's your excuse.
You told me the Cowboys
No,
winning the division.
You told me they're terrible. You told me the Giants are going to win
I
the
did,
division.
but I told you Cowboys wouldn't make the
I
playoffs.
did say our team gonna win the division. I did say that.
Who?
The Rams. I said it when they started winning. I gotta say it.
Well, you're
I
the
gotta
Ram
pat myself
ambassador.
on the
You
back.
have to, so you
Call it
can
what
get
you
your
want.
sideline
Let me say,
pass.
Hey, Todd Gurley has 7 touchdowns more than any receiver or running back. 7
Six
more.
now.
What-
7 more.
Okay, you had
Team
2
right
big
now.
home games against Seattle and the
Yeah,
Eagles,
that's-
and go look at what he
that's
did. Not
football.
enough.
What about y'all
Not
big home
enough.
games? You had Carolina and the Chiefs at
They're
home.
the number 1 seed in the AFC. Are the Rams the
Yeah.
number 1 seed?
Philadelphia's
No.
the number 1 seed.
This is mind-blowing to me. It's a quarterback's game, and rarely is there an exception to the rule. Did you win any EVPs?
No,
I don't think you did.
they got me too.
But
They got me
you
also.
think about
Yeah, it was 2000
The
yards.
only one I agreed with was your 1998 year. I'll give Terrell Davis. He deserved it.
Skip, think about this. Dan Marino in that era threw for 5,000 yards. Had he not, if he'd have thrown for 4,000, ED would walk away with it. But think about this. Dan Marino in that era, when they didn't throw the ball, he threw for 5,084 and 48 touchdowns, which was unheard of.
Well, you know, my MVP, my first year had 1,800 yards rushing, 18 rushing touchdowns, 20 touchdowns.
That's the year you should have won the MVP.
Yeah, I should have won that year. But, you know, back in that time, they wanted to give it to the older guy. They gave it to Joe Theismann. The next year had 2,000 yards.
You gave it to Danny.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did 84.
No, I thought they gave it to LT. I'm almost positive.
86, they gave it to LT.
That's right, 86. They gave it
Dan
to
Marino got through 40 touchdowns, but they had a losing record.
So I mean,
Greg, what was your record?
which one?
Did you lift those first 2 teams into
Yes,
the
went
Super Bowl?
to the playoffs.
Yeah?
Went to the playoffs. I mean, they had been in the playoffs in a long time once again.
1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns.
It still ain't been broke.
Okay,
30-something years later, I got it.
You can make a
Hold on to that record, ED.
Pow.
Okay, what if I take Carson Wentz and I put him up in Foxborough for the whole year? What happens?
Well,
They don't
first
make
of
the
all,
playoffs.
wait, hold it.
don't
The
make the
Eagles
playoffs.
still winning. The Eagles still winning.
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? If you replace Tom Brady with Carson Wentz, they wouldn't make the playoffs.
There's no
come on,
way.
that's
It would be a disaster. In fact, they'd probably win 4 games. This is not a
You
very
need to be
good
ashamed of
football team.
yourself. You need to
No,
be ashamed
you
of
should
yourself.
be
You should be
ashamed.
ashamed of
You ought to
yourself.
be ashamed
You've
of
been
yourself.
making the same case back to me the whole year, and then it comes to MVP, and you're saying, he's not
I
MVP.
told you last year.
They're not very good.
What did I tell you last year? If
What,
Carson
they
Wentz,
11-2, aren't they 11-3?
no, 12-2, 12-3, 13 and 2. The Eagles are.
No, not the Eagles, the Patriots.
Oh, they lost 3 games.
Yeah.
They're 12-3.
Yeah, 12-3.
Skip, I told you last year. I said if Carson Wentz had what Dak Prescott had, he could do the exact same thing. No, he couldn't. They gave him a running game and a receiver, and guess what? He did it better. He did 33-7. Your guy did 26-4.
Okay, who has the better running game between Philly and New England? Philly does. Who has the better receiving core? Philly does. Who have the better defense?
Philly?
Philly does.
Who got the better coach?
Doesn't matter. Tom Brady coaches the offense.
No,
You say
stop
it's
it.
the system.
Stop
He,
it.
he
This
does.
is the system.
Okay, well,
please.
tell me the offensive guy that's not a quarterback that's more dominant than Gronk.
That's not a quarterback,
Yeah.
but you can't disqualify. The quarterback is 10 times the most dominating position in football.
But you keep
But-
telling
but-
me he's
but-
playing
but-
with
but-
no one.
but it's-
You
it's
keep
gonna make
telling
a
us that he
difference.
doesn't have anyone.
But every year, that doesn't mean the quarterback should get it just because it should be
It
like
has
that.
sort of become the most
I know,
valuable
it has
quarterback
become that.
award.
It's like 7-on-7.
But first of all, you're not sending anybody to New England and just replacing Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. But the season-long conversation has been about Tom Brady. The last 2 games, Todd Gurley came up.
not the
It's a
last 2 games.
season-long
Yes,
award.
but-
just came from
but
nowhere.
here's the
Not taking
thing.
anything away from Todd Gurley. He's amazing.
Hey, that happens in politics. The dark horse, boom, go jump to the front.
Okay,
Oh,
but
so
this
it's a
isn't an
2-game
election.
season.
This is
Well,
a
this is
season-long
election
award.
right now. It's
Well,
elected who's the MVP.
But here's the thing. Normally, yes, it's been a quarterback. But when a quarterback throws 50 touchdowns and 8 picks, 55-10, 45-4, yeah, he's going to win it. What's special about 30-8?
The team is so bad. It's a mediocre football team, and he took them to the number 1
we were
seed.
4-12 last year. Nobody expected us.
Oh!
Come on.
Y'all just...
Jeff Fisher's
All right.
fault.
Shannon Sharpe, who do you like to win the Super Bowl?
That has nothing to do with MVP.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Todd Gurley. Gurley.
You like the
Gurley,
Rams? Are you on new bandwagon?
Gurley.
We
Come
got
on,
a
you
new
better not jump
bandwagon.
on. No, you better not jump on that.
Me?
That New England thing.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me.
Oh, I said the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl before the
Oh,
season
come on.
started.
She a Dolphins. Think
I
about the
thought you
Dolphins.
was. Oh, well, she
hadn't been-
She ain't got no choice.
Yeah. I mean, really, since Danny left, they've
I
been...
know. I feel bad.
They were in the playoffs last year.
Really?
How long?
Yes, really.
How long were y'all in that?
Long as Skippy was in the military. Skippy didn't go to the military. Skippy
They
took
were
over.
in the playoffs last year.
I like it.
Who
Eric,
remember that?
Thanks for
Thank you.
just last year.
Who's your quarterback right
You
now?
need to take some more
Who is your
vitamins.
quarterback? Who's your quarterback right now?
Eric, thanks for joining.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We'll catch you again same time Monday morning at 9:30 Eastern. Have a great weekend.
Fox Sports. One of one.